Yes, it's true. The market did get crushed today, and Tesla went along for the ride. Well, it had to happen. Eventually, every bull market or every current uptick gets its top. I didn't think it would get this explosive in terms of the downside, and I certainly didn't expect it just in the middle of a regular old day on a Thursday with no real news. One speculation out there was that it was because the 10-year bond got above 4%. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that there was some automatic trading taking place, and the automatic trades just started hitting, and one after another they hit. We've seen this happen before. There just didn't seem to be any news at all that could explain it. Anyway, I was not all that unhappy because I had transferred some money around, and the money came in today into my E-Trade account, and I was able to make the buy at the bottom. So good for my portfolio. This is Randy Kirk. If this is one of those days you should probably wait until we're done and tell me whether you like what I'm doing today, because this is going to be a really, really different day. And then hit subscribe and notify, because you're absolutely always going to want to be notified. Tomorrow morning, we have our regular first thing in the morning show, 7:10, almost always around 7:10 when it comes out. And then later in the afternoon, we've got Larry Goldberg on, and he'll be helping me to talk about the week in reverse and what happened and what we think might be coming up in the future. All right. And then Patreon. Got another gentleman joining today. Thank you very, very much. Thank you to all the Patreon folks that are now part of my group. I think we're at 90. 10 to go. If we're going to hit 100 by next Monday, thanks again for all your help. And there is, as you know, good, fresh, unique content up there now. All right. So I was going to have this fireside chat anyway. I mentioned it earlier today that I wanted to have a fireside chat with you. But today's action, it kind of created the perfect environment, the perfect moment. You see, I think that Elon seems really, really relaxed. I also think that the fan club seems equally relaxed and kind of like just biding their time. There's no more arguments on Twitter. Nobody's yelling and screaming. Nobody's saying negative stuff about Elon and he should step down or he shouldn't be president anymore. It's just kind of chill. Other YouTubers seem content to just kind of keep dishing out the news and the commentary, and it just seems very, very easy going out there right now. Well, many of them are now saying something like this, though. I've heard this over and over and over again. It's kind of like everything is just lined up for execution. You no longer wonder if various products or factories or versions or new approaches are going to get done. It's just a matter of when. We don't need to turn and look at the back of the book. It's a fait accompli. Is that the right pronunciation? I took French in the fourth grade, but I don't read. Anyway, okay. So quite a few weeks ago now, I put out a video called 2026 is the key. Did you see that one? I should probably put a card up here if I remember to. I might forget, or maybe put the link in down below. That particular video was kind of explaining what I'm going to kind of go over again today. It's kind of all the products, everything's kind of lined up. It was my theory in that video that this is the kind of mood I kind of was expecting, but we didn't have that mood yet. And by 2026, everything will be done. It's kind of like you might think that maybe robo-taxis are 3 years off, or FSD is 2 years off, or Optimus robots won't be sold until 2025 or 2026. But it's really, really hard to find many, many people like that follow me that think it'll be past 2026 when everything is in place. So here's kind of a list. We'll be shipping around 6 million cars by then, making Tesla by far the biggest auto company by revenue and profit. It won't even be close at 6 million cars. We'll undoubtedly have about 6 or more Lathrops running at full ramp, creating 120 billion in revenue and 36 billion in profit. You realize that anything over 100 billion in revenue, anything over 25 billion in profit puts a company is like one of the biggest companies in the world. We're talking about the energy division with only 5 factories will be one of the biggest companies in the world. And they're not going to stop at 5 factories. In fact, they might have more than 5 that are fully ramped by 2026. I'm just throwing that out as a possibility. It's huge. It's massive. I think the 4680 cells will be at 200 to 300 gigawatt hours at least, with the U.S. government paying $45 a kilowatt hour on top of whatever other profits are coming in because of that 4680 cell productivity. And it might be more than that. Planning for 500 gigawatt hours just at Reno, 200 at Austin, and 100 over in Berlin. So who knows? It may be way, way more than that. Semi-trucks will be around 50 billion in sales by that time, about 15 billion in profits. If I'm correct, it'll be about 30% profit. Could be more than that. That's a low number. I think it'll actually be more than that by 2026. There'll be about 150,000 chargers out there by then, maybe more. And those will just be kind of printing money daily. A lot of them by that time will have solar and batteries providing the energy. So the cost of the energy will almost be free. So Elon's idea that it's only going to be a 10% margin or net margin out of those facilities, I think that's low. I think some of them will also have restaurants, or they'll have at least some kind of other things that you can buy while you're there. We'll see what happens, but that's the future. There will be some amount of profits coming in from insurance, from software as a service, from used cars, from utilities, from repairs and maintenance. There'll be other kinds of revenues coming in from things that are already in place, just a matter of continuing to grow as Tesla makes more and more cars and more other products. There will also be a lot of revenue from maintaining mega chargers and that type of thing as well. We don't know what will be happening by that time with Dojo. Dojo as a service could be a thing. It could be printing off hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue, which will be almost the same in profit. Tesla also might be making serious money by that time from licensing FSD and from licensing the operating system, possibly, as Larry Goldberg said last week. FSD will be making more profits. Okay, the profits from FSD in 2026, assuming that FSD is happening at the time, is fully operational, everything is good, FSD will be bringing more profits than all of the stuff that we just talked about combined. Because it's going to be, even if it's $200 even if we take the low number, $200 a month times, by that time, 15 million cars or something on the road, probably almost all of them with FSD. I mean, just add up the numbers. Then there'll be robo-taxis. That's on top of FSD. The robo-taxis will be bringing in more profit than everything that I've already just described, all the totals. In other words, the car company will be almost as big or getting very close to the revenues and the profits of Apple. And energy will be at least that much, maybe more. I mean, just start adding it up. It's just huge. And then we've got Optimus bringing in profits that will be beyond imagination. We just can't even add it up. We can't even figure out what it is. If I'm right, it's 50,000 per year per robot, and they'll be making millions per year. So it's like 50 billion a year, and then it's 100 billion a year, and the third year it's 300. It's crazy. In other words, everything is now basically set up and just waiting for full execution. The only product right now that is at stage 1 is Gen 3 vehicles. Now you've got to know they're already tooling for that. They're already the designs are almost complete. They know how they want it to work in terms of the unboxing process. They're setting up design concepts and they already know how they want the lines to look or the cells to look. I mean, all that stuff is well along, but they're not really at the point right now of having prototype cars that are out there being tested, being crash tested, etc. Not to say that's going to be difficult or complicated, but this is the car. This is the only product that is way back here in terms of development. Everything else is basically done are just needing that last turn, that last ingredient, that last thing. And as you can see, a great deal of this is already done. So what about the above would you find to be incorrect? Just let me know in the comments. I'd like to know, what did I miss? I might have left something out. Please add that. And then if you think one of these things won't be done by 2026, let me know. But let me know why you don't think it'll be done by 2026. So if it is correct, if the concept of most or all of that is correct, then guess what? The daily vagaries of the market, the Fudsters, the short sellers, the TeslaQs, they don't really matter at all. That is, unless you're playing daily or short term. Well, God bless you if you are. I got no problem with that. I've done a ton of day trades with Tesla and made a lot of money doing it. But, what do you want when you're doing day trading? You want volatility. So a day like today, yeah, you might have played it wrong. That's part of the game. You might have lost big today, but maybe you still have some money sitting on the sideline that you can put back in at these low rates, average your cost, and then you'll make money over the next couple of weeks, because I do believe we'll be back to 300 in a couple of weeks. So the volatility is a good thing if you're a day trader. The volatility is a good thing if you're you're trading, maybe not daily, but you're trading over a short, window of weeks or months. The down day, if you're long term, it doesn't matter at all. It's just a matter of what it's going to be in a year or 2 years or 3 years. So you can't really complain on a day like today, except you look at your portfolio and go, oh, shoot. Unless you had dry powder and you, like me, and you bought today. And then you go, oh, yay, I got it on discount. All right. Now, earlier today, I did a video about oil and the potential that oil could mess up the economy and the market. Because like me, you might have other stocks and other investments that are going to be affected by the economy, your business or, your house, maybe you have rentals, et cetera, that will be affected, that will be negatively impacted if the economy continues to have inflation, which means that there's more interest rate increases, which means eventually the Fed breaks the market, breaks the economy. We don't want that to happen. So oil is an issue. I did a video on that earlier today. You might want to take a look at it. I think it was a really good one. And I'll put a card for sure here, and that might remind me to do the other one. Okay. Anyway, and then of course, this is the time. If you think that was valuable, please hit like. If you think it was valuable, why don't you join Patreon? This is what I do. Somebody said today, he said, Randy, you sound desperate. I'm not certainly not desperate. In fact, I've mentioned to you guys that at this point, the advertising from Google, from YouTube, the advertising alone now is paying me well for this show, but it's not paying me what I'm worth. And I'd like to be paid what I'm worth. Isn't that true for you too? Do you want to be paid less than you're worth? So I'm working towards getting to the place where I'm paid what I'm worth, and Patreon is a huge help on that. So that's why I'm trying to get to 100. That would really get us close, along with the advertising money, to making that happen. And I wouldn't have to go out there and find advertisers or sponsors for the show. I'd rather just do it through the advertising and Patreon. I think that would be better. So sign up for Patreon, hit the notify, which in order to hit notify, you need to hit subscribe. Buy the books. Actually, very, very good sales this month. The Making Money Out of Thin Air has all of a sudden started taking off. When Friday isn't payday, quite a number of sales on that. The Elon Musk mission is doing great. And this actually was a good month for the method as well. So, hit them up. If you like to read, even if you don't like to read, they're all available on audio, so you can listen to them. And I think you will learn stuff that will be valuable, whether you're a trader, a fan, whether you own your own business, whether you manage a business. All of these books will be helpful for any of those situations. Okay, I can turn off the fire now. We can all take a nap, or whatever time it is where you are. Maybe it's time to go to sleep for the night. Anyway, it's been great talking to you.